Hi everybody, and welcome back to Noms. Today we're going to make something warm and yummy, and it's going to be all from a book series I'm completely obsessed with, book 2 of The Hunger Games.
From classics to children's books, you never know what she's going to cook when Gretchen makes novel moms.
So I promise you this will probably be the last one I do from The Hunger Games, but I just loved this series. In the second book, Catching Fire, there's a really important part to the story where the people in the game get the gift of these rolls. And I won't tell you why they're important. But the other cool thing about that is that the rolls that they're given, these bread rolls, are specific to the region that they are from. And they instantly know who it's for by what the bread is. And I thought, you know, what could I make that would be something that I would want to get that reminds me of home? And I'm from upstate New York, from Rochester. And one of my favorite breads is pizza bread. And I want to put that into the roll motif. I'm going to make pizza bread rolls with a very simple spinach salad that's going to be so fresh and yummy, and you're going to love it. Let's go. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to start our rice. We're going to put some rice in with the spinach salad, and I'm actually using an arboreal rice, which is typically used for risotto, because it's creamier and it's almost like a pasta. I'm using this because my stomach does not deal well with gluten, so rice doesn't have any gluten in it. And this is a great substitute, but by all means use orzo if you want to use orzo. I already have 2 cups of boiling water on my stove, and I'm just going to put this cup of rice right in there and get that cooking. While that's cooking, I need to start my pizza bread rolls. And it's very simple. Now you may think this is cheating, but I buy the crescent roll pre-made dough. As someone that is gluten intolerant, I wish I could find a good bread that is gluten-free. That was magical. I'm just going to spread out the triangles of the crescent roll.
You could get regular biscuits. I'm just going to lay these out. You could make your own fresh bread from scratch if you wanted to.
That takes a very long time, and I don't have a bread maker. I'm not much of a baker, because it's one of those things where you have to just make it and let it go and hope that it turns out okay. And for me, it usually doesn't. So, okay. So I've got my triangles laid out, and I'm going to take some pasta sauce.
Or you could use a very simple marinara. You could use a tomato puree from your own tomatoes, whatever's on sale, whatever tastes yummiest to you. I'm just going to put a little bit on each triangle, and I'm going to spread that around. I don't want tons, but I want to be able to taste it, because it's going to cook in with all the stuff we're going to put inside it. But I don't want it to ooze out too much, because I want these to be able to be picked up and eaten easily.
Okay, next thing I'm going to put on it is some Parmesan with Romano grated into it. This is a nice quality that I get from my deli section. You could use the kind right out of the shaker can if that's what you have. You could use some very fresh sharp cheddar would be good, whatever cheese you like, but you want to use a strong flavored cheese. Mozzarella probably isn't going to cut it because you're not really going to taste it in this quantity. You'd have to put a real lot of it. And the denser, like the more crap you put in here, the longer it's going to take to cook, and it's going to come out soggy. So you don't want to put a ton of stuff in there. So we just have a nice light dusting. And the last thing I'm going to put is some pepperoni. Again, if you're vegetarian, you don't have to put pepperoni. Some nice mushrooms would be good, some fresh mushrooms. You could put some nice peppers and onions. Just again, don't overload it, because you don't want to stress the bread out. I'm going to cut up some pepperoni, maybe a little bit more. I have to confess to you that my favorite part of the pizza bread is the pepperoni, because in the bread that I grew up with, in the loaf form, when you cut open that slice, that like loaf of bread, what you get are these swirls of cheese and pepperoni.
So good. I'm just going to sprinkle that on my little square, or my triangles.
I didn't do very well in geometry. Alright, these are triangles. I'm going to sprinkle those on there. This is really something you could make to your own pizza taste. If you could put some olives in there, you could Put whatever is important to you on your pizza in that. Again, just don't overload it. Think minimal. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shake some basil just to give it a little extra kick. And then we're just going to roll these monkeys up. Roll, roll, roll. Shoving it all back in there if it falls out. Last thing I'm going to do, just put a little bit of cheese on top. Gives it really nice little crunchy texture, browning, and looks deliciousness. And maybe just for good luck, a little bit extra basil. Whatever you like. If you don't like basil, oregano would be great. Some powdered garlic would be great. And I'm going to stick this in my oven for the recommended time that's on the roll, which is 11 to 13 minutes. I'm going to stick those in the oven. Okay. We're going to move on to the rest of our salad that the rice is going to go into. Okay, I'm going to use just some fresh baby spinach for this. You could use whatever kind of lettuce. If you like romaine would be really good. Some spring mix. Like iceberg, that's fine. But I like the spinach because it gives you some extra vitamins and tastes really good. Okay. I'm going to take this beautiful spinach, kind of bunch it together.
Just give it a rough chop one way, a rough chop the other way, and that's it. If you want it smaller, that's fine.
So I'm going to throw that gorgeous spinach in there. This is going to be a cold salad, and the cool thing is when we put the rice on it, it's going to wilt the spinach a little bit and give it some little extra texture and flavor. Next thing I want for my salad, I'm going to just grab one of these green onions. I'm just going to cut like that. Throw some green onion in there. I'm going to throw in a garlic clove. I bought these at the Chinese grocery store yesterday. They're already unwrapped, what are they called? They're already unskinned, de-skinned, but they're amazing, and I can't wait to cook them. And mince it up. If you don't like fresh garlic is very strong for some people. Obviously leave it out. You could do some garlic powder if you wanted. It does have that biting, strong flavor, almost like a, strong onion. I like fresh garlic. So either 1 clove of garlic chopped up or 1 teaspoon of, like a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. And last but not least, I actually made this salad the other day and used half of a red pepper, so I still have the other half left. I'm going to make use of that. And you'll notice that it's still got the skin on it. I'm going to kind of cut the skin off. If you remember in our last video, we talked about how the skins of vegetables can be very bitter.
Because they're meant to protect the vegetable from critters and keep it alive. So if you don't want to cut the skin off, you don't have to cut the skin off. And people get very offended when you tell them you have to cut the skin off of things. I like it, and I think it kind of lessens like the super, super, super crunchy texture. It kind of helps it mix with whatever else is in the salad.
So I'm just going to get all of the meat of that pepper without the skin. Okay. Just going to do a rough chop. There's no rhyme or reason to how things have to be chopped. I just like them little so that they all mix together in that super amazing first bite of salad. You want to get a little bit of everything. Sprinkle my red peppers in there. If you prefer green, use green. Okay. My rice is cooked. You'll notice it's got a creamier texture. It's almost like a sticky rice, like a sushi rice that you'd find in a Japanese restaurant. But it's Italian. And it's still hot. You have a couple options. You can let this cool and add it to your salad. You have a cold salad. Or you can keep it hot and add as much of it as you want. If you want this to be a rice salad with spinach in it, put more. If you want this to be a spinach salad with rice in it, put less. I'm going to put like, I don't know, like a half a cup. I'm going to take some lemon juice. If you have fresh lemon, even better. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Sprinkle that around. And I'm going to drizzle some olive oil. And then we're just going to toss the salad. Get all that rice in with all those good juices. Toss that in there with a little bit of salt and some pepper. And there's this gorgeous salad. And the really cool thing about this is if you have leftovers from your lunch or from your dinner, you can take this, throw this in whatever meat you like, some chopped up beef, ground beef, chicken, fish. You'll have this amazing stir fry, which will be so yummy. You could add this to a quiche or to some like eggs for an omelet. This is very versatile, so you can do a lot of things with that. I think I'm actually going to add some Parmesan to this too. Just give it a little extra zhuzh. Alright. Give it a little extra toss. Now we're just waiting for our pizza bread rolls to come out of the oven. Okay, so let's take them out of the oven. Wow, see how brown they look. Delicious. Listen, I know if I was starving in the Hunger Games, I would want these. Even if it were my dying meal. Alright. So, I'm going to stick a couple of those on our plate. This would be great for like an appetizer for a party, or if you want to maybe try and eat a little better, and you don't want to have like a bunch of pieces of pizza, just a couple of pizza rolls to give you that flavor. So good. And some of our delicious spinach and arborio rice salad. A great lunch. If you wanted to add some extra meat to this, you could put a beautiful, maybe a salmon fillet on top of that, or just leave it as it is, because I think it's just as good by itself. Delicious. You get the buttery, like olive oil. You get the salt and pepper. The rice gives it this beautiful texture. It is so refreshing. And then there are the pizza rolls. Look at that. So yummy. So I am going to finish this and encourage you to go, please read the Hunger Games and tell me what you think about it and comment down below. I love you all. I hope you all had a chance to see my cooking haul video that I posted a couple days ago. If you want, I'll put a link right here. And also to make sure you know about my P.O. box where you can send your recipe ideas, your book ideas, questions you have about cooking, whatever it is you want to send to me. You can do that to my P.O. box, and I thank you so much. Have a great week, and I will see you soon.